Hey Vivas, and welcome to the very first episode of Viva Aaliyah in the year 2020. Oops, sorry, I'm just trying to get myself centered a little bit. We are 2021. Jesus, we just left 2020 behind us, didn't we? So this is the very first episode of 2021. We are in a new year. I am 28 days away from being a year older, and I am very excited. I also have my wedding anniversary tomorrow, so happy anniversary to my hubby, who at midnight will be asleep, but I probably won't, and so I'll start celebrating for us. But we have a very special show today. I wanted to start 2021 out with a bang. We are going to forego our bartender because we have a lot to dig into today, my friends. We ended 2020 by talking about what Viva was and why Viva Aaliyah happened and what we want to see in the future. It is the future now, girl. The future is the present. And so we have three beautiful business owners that I adore and I love working with, and I cannot thank enough for everything that I have on today. So we've got, I'm just going to announce all three of them, and then we're going to bring on the first business owner. So of course, one of my dearest friends is John, aka Nova Star, over at Fierce Drag Jewels, and always keeps me glam, honey. The jewels today, of course, are Fierce Drag Jewels. My friend, and actually somebody who mentored me in a pageant, when I was competing at Miss Gay United States. The frock is, of course, by the amazingly talented Jeffrey Kelly Designs. Look at that. And then, I never go anywhere. I don't perform in shows without these. I don't do Viva Aaliyah without these. These nails, honey, big girl nails by Coco. Always, always keeping me together. I have never ever worn a nail like these. And if you don't believe me, go to Roxy Andrews' page, honey, because she will vouch too. So there. But I love these three more than you could imagine. They are such talented people, and I wanted to do something for our community and bring back to it. So we are calling this Small Business Saturday with my very favorite designers. The first designer we're going to bring on, of course, is one of my dearest friends. She has sponsored already the end of season 1 headpiece that I wore, those big wings, and we are possibly working on season 2's ending headpiece. This is a person I adore, I admire, was actually a Miss Gay United States at large before I became Miss Gay United States. And I remember I was at Miss Gay America in Ohio, and Nova was doing all of the work that needed to be done by a national title holder. Was standing there and talking to potential contestants about coming into the Gay United States family. And so we are going to pop up a headshot. This is who we're talking about, my beautiful friend. And yes, that is Nova Star, but you will see John on screen today. And I am, of course, talking about Fierce Drag Jewels. The jewels to the stars, honey. The jewels to RuPaul's Drag Race. But now we're going to bring on my dear friend, and let's get down to business.
Hi.
Hi, sweetheart. How are you?
I'm good. You're just chilling out and
sitting there in front of some rhinestones, of course.
Constantly. They just surrounded in Swarovski, like dripping in it. So
clearly dripping. And we yes, the Golden Girls shirt. We love to see it. And of course, we uncovered your logo earlier before the show. You moved some rhinestone chain around, and you forgot that logo was even there.
Open sesame, and poof, there she is.
That's when you've been doing your business for a long time, girl. When you forget that there's shit underneath shit.
Oh God, I don't even want to go. If we went into the storage unit for all of the stuff we've had for so many years of DragCon, oh God, just the signs and everything else like that. It's like it all gathers and it becomes this great big monstrosity. And one of these days, I'm just gonna put it all together and have some great big huge fort tent made out of Fierce Jewels paraphernalia.
I can't wait. Let's do it. Next time I'm in Rhode Island, we're going to go and we are going to start making the piles of things that we can.
Oh, dear Lord. Next time you're here, we'll just like start going through all the vintage stones. You know, we were cleaning out the storage unit and I pulled out 45 jars. Like they're these great big huge container jars of vintage stones that we bought from like some vintage auction years ago, that I told myself at the time I was going to go through and separate out the good stones from the stones that the foils had gone bad, and then defoil them and then send them off to Germany to have them refoiled. Well, I still have 300 pounds of stones that need done. We can make a game out of it. For every stone I miss, I'll take a shot. For every stone you miss, you could take 2 shots because you have a better constitution than I do.
You know, I'll be staying with you for about 3 weeks if we have to go through all of it.
It's fine. You know what? About halfway through, you'll be all like, 1 for you, 2 for me. 2 for you, 1 for me. It's all good.
There we go. Miss Gay United States, Sabrina White, showing some love.
Hi, Sabrina.
So I want to know from you, do you have a cocktail in front of you or are you drinking something?
I, unfortunately, am currently on a medication that does not allow me to drink alcohol at the moment. But I do have a Diet Coke.
We love a Diet Coke. I live on Diet Coke during the day. Well, I just want to say that's my what's in your glass for you. So cheers to you. We love that. What is one thing about Fierce Jewels that most people do not know that you would actually like them to know?
Oh, God, that's a rap sheet. I think the biggest thing I like to impress on people, or the biggest thing that I wish more people would realize, is that, and you know this more than anybody else because you've been to my studio, you've been to our store, like you've seen my process, you know, and I think the biggest thing that I want to impress on people is that we build costume jewelry to the standard that has been passed down for years and years and years by like real costume jewelers. Now, I first off, I don't want anybody to go crazy thinking that I'm dissing on anybody that makes jewelry in their kitchen, because guess what? I started making jewelry in my kitchen. But because of our process, you know, that's the one thing that I wish more people knew. And the one thing that I like to impress upon everybody is it takes time.
Yeah.
I can't whip together a pair of earrings in 20 minutes. I just can't. It's not possible. And I mean, like, for a good example, the lovely earrings you have on, you know, that was a 3-day project that we did, you know, together. You know, you helped design those. We then put them while you were here, you know, you helped design them. Then we had to put the bodies together. Then that has to go through polishing, blah, blah, blah. I mean, there's a whole process. And I think the one thing that I wish, and I'm sorry, that I should be answering this more like a pageant question and actually to the point. The one thing I would like more people to know about Fierce Drag Jewels is that we build jewelry the way that it was made when your grandmother was wearing it to prom. Or back in the 50s and 60s when they used to wear the great big huge brooches and huge and you know, the stuff you're finding in the antique stores now. Exactly. You know, so, you know, we build it right, and we build it right the first time.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I have collections upon collections of Fierce Drag Jewels. When they have my estate sale one day after I'm gone, they're going to be like, this girl spent millions of dollars on jewelry.
Taylor, are you kidding me? You're going to be in your 60s, and somebody's going to come along and go, we're going to open the Leah Martinez museum, and you're just going to have just the room of jewels, you know? I mean, I see it. You know, screw Elizabeth Taylor. It's going to be just you and a ton of jewelry, you know?
And all of my big girl nails and all of my Jeffrey Kelly designs.
Exactly. And at the very end of the museum, it's going to be you in a glass coffin. And when people come into the room, you're going to pop up real quick and go, fooled you, bitches.
I like that. I'm a fan of that, actually. what was the thing that actually, you talked about starting in your kitchen. What was the thing that prompted you to start Fierce Drag Jewels?
So, I guess another thing a lot of people don't know about me. So I went to school for fashion design. It's kind of odd when you have an education in something you really love, but you know that that education you really love and you really want to use your education for something, but the market and what you got your education in doesn't exactly work to what you want to do. I never wanted to be a fashion designer. I actually wanted to be a costume designer. And so it was like 2004 or 5, and I was performing and living in Salt Lake City. And I had a friend who said, I had made some jewelry of my own. At the time, I was actually helping Lucinda Holiday. I was bringing her to Salt Lake City to sell jewelry in Salt Lake. And I had, every time she would make me something, I would kind of design it up. And she made a funny comment once. She was all like, you should really just make your own jewelry. And then, yeah, and then I had a friend who was willing to help me. We partnered up at first to produce my first line, which was actually called Star Jewels. And we did that for a couple years. Sometimes business and friendships don't always work out. We both had very different visions of the way that we wanted to do things. And, he went his way and I went my way. And, I had already invested so much time and energy and, everything like that. I had taken additional courses. I had gone to learn from a few other jewelers and, really glean from them more information and more learning than I already had. And so for me, the main reason why I started Fierce Jewels is because I wanted to use my education that I had started to grow into something more, to have something more, And at the same time, I really wanted to do something that was going to be something lasting, Our community, at the time I was performing, and I was doing shows 2-3 times a week, traveling, title holder, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it was ridiculous. My schedule was crazy. But I also know that the life of an entertainer doesn't always go the way that we want it to. Not all of us can last as long as some of these great dames like Tommy Ross and Maya Douglas and, the girls that we have come to see as not only the icons of our community, but also the treasures of an entertainer that has lasted for so many years, So for me, I wanted to be able to leave an actual permanent mark myself. And I wasn't vain enough to go, Nova is going to be that permanent mark, I mean, I have lots of wonderful children and I am so grateful to have my star kids and that sort of thing. And in that way, I got to leave my mark, but I wanted to have something more concrete. And that's where Fierce Jewels came into it for me, was being able to make something that 30, 40, 50, 60 years down the road, somebody's going to get a pair of my earrings and they're going to go, this was this person, this was this, company. And, it's hard to explain. It's just.
No, I love that. That's a beautiful story. Your jewelry, it's to me, you can tell the difference between your jewelry and other people's jewelry because you can actually see the heart that you put into it. And that's one of the, obviously, like, we're friends and you are just a trusted business owner to me. I trust you because I know the passion you have for the things that you do. And I've watched you I sat there and watched you solder these earrings and, you had 3 assistants working on other things. And so you said, you know what, we're going to stop what I'm doing and we're going to sit down together and I'm going to show you what goes into making a pair of your jewelry. And that was new to me and something I hadn't seen before. And it really showed me. That's my mother-in-law, Kim Walker Bowman. A great story. So yeah, it showed me the heart. I already knew the heart you had into it, but I got to see the heart that you put into your work. And I really loved that. It meant a lot to see that. There's actually something most people don't know about you that I'm going to say. You're going to laugh and roll your eyes at me.
Oh, dear God.
And this is something your husband came up with. Ah, see, we already have the face. So you own about 398 animals. No, I'm just kidding. You have, you can do all 12 days of Christmas probably at least 10 times over just with animals.
Yeah, probably.
Because you have a farm. You have chickens and peacocks and pheasants and turkeys, and you also are a lover of parrots. And
well,
you have how many dogs do you have?
We have 5 St. Bernards, 17 macaw parrots, 47 chickens, 18 guineas, 12 turkeys, 8 peacocks, which, by the way, they're called peafowl because the boys are just the peacock.
Got it.
Yeah, and a mini pig. But
and you do have a partridge, but not a pear tree.
Well, we do have We do have a partridge, but not the pear tree. We have citrus trees, though.
There we go.
So everybody that just heard all that, we do have a farm, but our farm is a sanctuary. We are part of a group called the Pandemonium Rainforest Project, which is a sanctuary in Connecticut. And my husband is actually the president of their board. And hopefully Allison, the director of Pandemonium, is watching this. Hi, Allison.
Hi, Allison.
You can look us up at pandemoniumrainforestproject.com. And we are volunteers with them, but we also have our own separate sanctuary here on our property. We have 9 acres, and I mean, you've been here, so you and so we have a 9-acre property that we have a great big macaw sanctuary portion, and then we've got our chickens and outdoor barn fowl and stuff like that. And we rescue macaws, particularly. I'm the macaw dude, my husband and I. We rescue macaws that are special needs or not wanted, and are emergency birds, things like that. All of our birds, except for one of them, have come to us through either being surrendered or being rescued. And we actually, kind of fun, we have this lovely lady named, thank you. We have this lovely lady named Joanne who brought us her 2 macaws because her husband and they've had a lot of problems this year last year with COVID, and they could no longer keep them. But she drives all the way up from Long Island, and she's come up here twice to see her babies. And yeah, so it's a great big group effort. But yeah, we do, and thank you for sharing that with everyone, because that's something most people don't know about me, is that we do have this great big animal sanctuary that we run on top of my business, on top of my husband working, blah, blah, blah. Our lives are very busy with all of that.
And we lovingly have a name for the farm.
Oh, God. I knew this was coming. I knew it.
So we call the farm, this was actually Jacob, which is Nova or John's husband. We lovingly call the farm Nova's Ark. And we know that you love that name more than life.
I can't escape it. I mean, it's our Wi-Fi name, for Christ's sakes. Yeah. Nova's Ark, and I can't escape it, but I do love it. And
yes, Jeffrey, the name is Spears.
We it's what we do, So, but it's funny because my husband will call and he'll go, "What's for dinner on the Ark tonight?" All I've had is fish for 40 days.
But I do want to bring attention to one thing. I did ask you if Thanksgiving was being grown at your place, and we do not eat the turkeys or the chickens. They are for eggs and procreating.
Eggs and chicks. Yeah. So
Eggs and chicks.
how we help pay for the sanctuary is we sell eggs and we sell chicks as well. We have incubators and other stuff like that. And it helps pay for all the barnyard animals and all the parrots and everybody else like that. But no, all of our animals that are brought to us, they will live nice, ripe, long lives. And then we have a lovely little animal cemetery for those of them that have passed away. I'm actually working on a headstone right now for a friend's dog who died, who's now buried in our little animal cemetery. So
that's actually another part of your business that people don't know about.
Yeah.
I should have worn I love these earrings so much, but I should have worn the other ones, and I've worn them on the show. Actually, I wore them on the show the last episode we had. You make lucite jewelry as well, and you've made my Viva Aaliyah pins,
Yep.
and we can do, so this was our prototype. This is the easiest one to get to, but you did this for me.
It sure did.
And for those of you who don't know, my logo is actually my handwriting. So, but we have them in hot pink, and we have them in like a gunmetal color. They're beautiful. And we have pins coming, and right now we can make keychains and ornaments out of the other ones.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought.
Oh, we're holding thoughts. I have these big earrings while Nova's off screen that are about this big because I am a Latin girl and I do love my Latin girl hoops that she made me. So I wore them on the last show. So if you have a chance, go ahead and amazing jewelry for people with metal. Yes. So actually Nova taught me this. If you are going to a jeweler and they are claiming to plate their jewelry, make sure they are actually plating it, because if it's not plated, the jewelry that you wear can actually, and we've seen this, I actually had one of my drag daughters ended up with like a huge cyst on her ear from it, from wearing jewelry that wasn't plated and putting that against your skin. So be careful, make sure it's cleaned properly, make sure it is plated properly. These are rose gold. All of those things, right? Plating and cleaning jewelry needs to be... Wow.
She's huge.
She's big. That's just an earring, right?
Well, really, by the time it's done, it's going to be like gold and sparkly. Like I just did these for the National Showgirl System.
Oh, I love that.
They're gold.
Oh, yeah, you can do your own medallions now.
Yeah, well, these are actually Christmas ornaments that the owner of the National Showgirl System ordered for his title holders and stuff. So we did these, and then the finish on this will be that lovely gold as well, so you can like be slave or something, you know.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I have two more business questions for you about Fierce Jewels.
Of course.
First of all, a lot of people call it Fierce Drag Jewels.
Well, I actually own two separate businesses, Fierce Jewels and Fierce Drag Jewels. Fierce Jewels is, a lot of people think it's just cut down without the drag, but it was originally just Fierce Drag Jewels because, you know, I just worked for queens, you know, and things like that. But then as we expanded into the burlesque market and into other real women wanting our jewelry, it's kind of hard to market to, you know, Fierce Drag Jewels to real women, you know. So we actually have two separate website addresses. You know, it all goes to the same website, but we have two separate website addresses and other things like that. And I actually do produce a separate women's only line because most of the queens would consider them terribly small. But we do produce a separate women's line that is just Fierce Jewels.
I love that. While you're answering the last two questions, we have a few pictures, a few photos that we're going to pop up over our faces of some work that you've done. I pulled these from your Instagram and your Facebook. These are, of course, volcano is one of my favorite stones, so I had to put a volcano set in there. But what's been the hardest thing about keeping going during COVID?
Oh God.
I wanted to ask you this because I know you and I talk about this a lot, and I wanted to let you talk about it.
I'll be honest with you, the hardest thing for me, and I think it's been for most of the GLBT business owners that are in entertainment specifically, the hardest thing for me has been watching our market evaporate. Like, I completely understand that. I mean, there's no bookings, there's no shows, there's no pageants, there's no nothing. And that's been really hard. This last year, and I'm very open about it. I mean, we saw 80% of our events, of our, overall income, just vanish. And that's been really hard to work with because, I am responsible for my assistants and making sure that I keep them paid and making sure that that machine keeps running, and
Yeah.
I do think that it is it's going to be a struggle for a lot of us that work in the entertainment industry, kind of getting things going again. One of I hate to use this as an example, but it's one of my favorite movies. It's like the scene after World War II from Memoirs of a Geisha. And all the geishas are like trying to recreate themselves and trying to figure out how they're going to move on from there. It's similar in that aspect. We've had a world-shaking, earth-shattering situation where our entire community, what we knew as our normal went completely poof. And all of those businesses, have been affected by it, and some of us have made it through it scathed, and some have not made it through it at all. And that's been really hard. This year's been very, very hard.
Yeah, it's been crazy. I don't know how to. Oh yes, another beautiful, beautiful set. You called what did you name this one?
I think those are the Duchess.
Yes.
We made a similar set to those. So little known deal. We made a whole bunch of jewelry for Lady Gaga when she was on Drag Race. Now, she didn't actually end up wearing any of it, which is fine, but we still made it for her. I don't know if she's actually worn it or not, but we sent a whole bunch of jewelry for her. And I made a very small version of those. And then I saw her on American Horror Story, and I was watching American Horror Story, and I was like, we're going to redo those earrings only big, and we're going to call them the Duchess after her character on American Horror Story. So
I love that. Another one, you do some Art Deco work, which is beautiful. We really love those.
It's my favorite.
I am very lucky to have one of your Art Deco, two of your Art Deco pieces, actually. My favorite color. I love white opal stones, and I know we have a white opal and a white opal AB set coming this way. So
you do.
And also, if you are looking at this and you're saying those are too stunning, I need a set. We at Fierce Drag Jewels, I'm saying we because I've been a customer for so long. We do jewelry for real girls and drag queens and everybody in between. So you want a bow tie, you want a whatever
Exactly.
you got, honey. This one can make it, and the team can. Also, if you want to contact Fierce Drag Jewels, Instagram is below. Shop phone number is below. I think we have 2 more photos to throw up. One more photo.
Well, you got another question for me, I think.
Oh yes. What's next for
me?
What's next for Fierce Drag Jewels? And we will throw up a photo while you're starting to answer.
Well, that one. Hi, Alyssa. How are you?
Alyssa Edwards.
I guess my big thing right now is, we have been expanding into a couple other markets. We've been working on expanding into the burlesque market. We have a lot of burlesque dancers that have been wearing our work for years. But I think the real big next thing for me is just, recovering from 2020, helping boost the pageant systems again and helping, get things rolling and things like that. We are going to be doing a couple really good, big charity auctions this year to try and boost awareness that COVID was not the end of certain things. There are a lot of humanitarian needs that are out there that I am hopefully, by selling some jewelry and getting that out there, we're going to be able to, boost some awareness. But, we've got some projects, going on with World of Wonder right now, which is kind of fun. And then other than that, Unfortunately, I'm under contract. I can't say much, but there is a certain sci-fi
Ooh.
show thingy that I'm getting involved with that hopefully will be fun. They've asked me to make some crazy pieces for them, and it really be outside my normal, which, as you well know, my normal can be pretty crazy. So
I was gonna say, do you have a normal?
well, let's just put it this way. Like, one of the pieces I'm working on is like this headpiece that has like tons and tons and tons of things that come off of it with one single little stone on the end. So it's like a explosion of rhinestones around the head. It's ridiculous. So we'll see what happens.
Well, we can't wait to see it. My dear friend, John/Novastar, you are wonderful. I also want to say, for all three of these business owners and business owners across any entertainment industry or any industry at all, none of them have control over UPS, USPS, FedEx, or any other delivery services. So if your package doesn't come on time, call FedEx, call USPS, call UPS. Stop calling them. They're trying to make my next garment or my next set of nails or my next jewelry. Leave them alone.
Well, especially with everything that's going on with the post office right now, God love them, but they're so understaffed. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot. But I just want to thank you for being on the show. Thank you for telling your story and talking about your business. In true me fashion, I told y'all you would do 20-minute interviews each, and I've gone a half hour for you. So I can't wait to talk to the rest of them.
Okay. Have fun.
I love you to death, and I will talk to you. I'm sure I'll talk to you either tonight or tomorrow.
Enjoy.
Love you all, babe. Mwah.
Bye, baby.
All right, we are going to bring on our next beautiful business owner. This man is one of the most beautiful men I have ever seen in my entire life. I'm not sure what he does, or I'm sure it's just good genes, because that's what good genes do. But also could teach men, women, drag queens, and everything in between about their makeup. We talked about this earlier. Has done some of the best makeup tutorials I've ever seen. Also, we're getting comments from the backstage that say Jeffrey better take off his shirt. But also one of the best, most well-built men I've ever seen in my entire life. He is Mr. Everything. We're going to put up his photo now. This is, of course, Jeffrey Kelly of Jeffrey Kelly Designs. We're going to throw up his photo and then throw up a beautiful photo of his logo. And then we're going to bring him on. Let's chat to the owner of Jeffrey Kelly Designs, the handsome, beautiful Jeffrey Kelly.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, honey. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. I am so grateful for all three of you for being on the show today, and for you and Mia backstage, who are being the most patient people in the world. I am so happy to have you all here. Yes, Lindsay Taylor.
Yay!
She is a stunning woman, honey.
Oh my God, she's one of them.
So talk to me. Tell me, are you having a cocktail? Are you having a wine?
I drink wine. I don't drink a lot of cocktails. I drink, if you could tell back there, there's a whole wine room. But tonight I'm actually drinking tea. But I got it Jeffrey Kelly mug, bitch. So cheers.
I'm gonna need one of those mugs. Cheers, baby. Also, you built that your wine storage, you said.
Yes. Yeah, I just redid my whole house during the quarantine. It was a process, but it came out exactly how I wanted. So I'm excited.
So not only are you a designer to the stars, you are a handyman as well.
Oh, of course.
You can't build half the stuff that you build in garments if you can't build something, right?
Right.
We also just saw on your Instagram you were traveling. I saw you doing some cliff diving, all of those things.
Yes, I got to go to Puerto Rico, and it was amazing because I had been in the house for like 6 months, just working nonstop. So I was like, it's time for a little vacation. It was amazing. So did cliff diving, did all of that stuff. It was fierce.
I am afraid of heights, so everything you did gave me anxiety. But I'm so happy for you that you got to do that.
Yes, it was fun. I needed it.
Maybe in the future I will get a little bit more brave, and we will talk about doing that. So we talked about what's in your glass.
I love your dress. It's nice.
This dress, this beautiful frock, is by you.
I love it. You look cute.
It's cut perfectly. Jeffrey has never measured me in person, and it's cut perfectly. So talk to me about your business. You obviously make garments, but what was your? I know you've basically sewn your entire drag career and your entire entertainment career for yourself. What was the thing that said I need to start sewing for everybody else?
Oh my God. Well, okay. So this started when I was a little kid. This started when I was 4, 5, 6 years old. I used to watch my mom, who actually taught me how to sew everything. I would watch her. They're sewing like crazy. She actually used to sew for the Rockettes and do all of the costuming. So for Christmas time, like October to December, she would be working on costumes and everything. And I just thought it was amazing that, you know, the costuming is the most magical part of the show. So I always would watch her from afar and I would pay attention. I never used to sew, but I always had it in my mind that I would do it, but I never thought that I could actually do it. So as I grew up, I was like, it would be fun to do the same thing, you know, follow in the footsteps. So I just started sewing for other people. I've always sewn for myself, and I always known how to do basic sewing, but I find myself getting better and better as I go, and I love it. I would never do anything else. It's what I love. So
You've sewn some pretty iconic things. We're gonna throw up. You have a trio of dresses that you sent me,
Yeah.
and I was in awe of all of them, of course. A quartet of dresses, we'll say. And what were your inspirations for these?
Oh my God. So the first one I did for Shea Coulee was like a custom piece, and she was like, I like velvet, I like yellow, but I also like the 90s style Versace. So I kind of went off that inspiration and did that for her. The second one is a Lady Gaga replica I did for somebody. She wore that same dress with the head piece with the wrap, and if you actually look up the picture, it looks pretty identical to it.
Yeah, it
So
really does.
I did that for somebody. The third dress and the fourth dress are actually just my design. I kind of did them myself. And that fourth dress, I actually made it for no reason. It was in the middle of quarantine, and I was like, I would love to make a dress out of leather. So that's leather right there. And then it's really hard to tell on picture, but the entire inside, even when you look from behind, it's aligned with rhinestone mesh in yellow and that hip part. So it's fierce in person. I just literally made it for no reason, to have it as something that I always keep. I'll never get rid of it. It's just here hanging up in my closet. But
if you ever decide, and it happens to fit my size, how does one sew with rhinestone mesh? This is a question I think a lot of drag queens I've seen actually post and question. How do you do that? That doesn't make sense to me either.
Well, there's a few ways to do it. Some people do try to use the machines, which it's really hard because if you care about your machine, it's going to be messed up. It's going to ruin the timing. It's going to break 500 packs of needles, which people don't understand. It's a lot of work. So basically, when I do when I actually just did a piece for her with rhinestone mesh, and basically I make the entire garment, and I have to go back and hand sew everything with the rhinestone mesh. So it's a lot of work. So when people are like, I want a gown with rhinestone mesh and this and that, and I'm like, okay, I just want to let you know it takes time. It's not as cheap as a regular garment because it literally will take me 3 times as long as I can make, 4 or 5 costumes. So it's either by hand or on the machine. I prefer to do it by hand because I don't want to ruin my machine, especially right now. It's a mess getting any supplies. So
by hand. Okay, well, that definitely confirms that I will not be sewing with rhinestone mesh anytime soon, and I will be coming to you for all my rhinestone mesh needs.
It's like beading. It's pretty much the same thing because you can't sew it on the machine, so you have to do it by your hand.
Woo! Okay. So you started by saying like I can sew for other people. Who was your first client that wasn't you?
Oh my God. Let me think here. Okay, so when I was doing shows at Hamburger Mary's in Tampa. I used to do stuff for Desiree DeMornay, Alexis Mateo. I would help him do stuff. I would do stuff for, anybody, any of my friends, Julita Fierce, Vanessa Vanji Mateo, my daughter. I would do stuff for them because they were my friends. And I was like, okay, if I mess it up, it's okay because I know I can make it again and you're not going to get mad. So I would just do stuff for just close people that I knew. But then I realized I'm like, oh, okay, I'm getting good at this. So then I took it more serious and, it just became my thing out of nowhere, literally. It was crazy. Celestia Cox was one of my first clients. Melanie Sparkles, Trinity Taylor. All those people, when I first started, there's a few more, but when I first started, they would come to me and they would trust me to do all their stuff. So
I love that. And for everybody watching, you will be seeing another Jeffrey Kelly design on my birthday show, which actually is on my birthday, January 30th.
Yes.
We're going to get that going very soon and make sure that we have this garment to go. Yes. Let's look at a couple more of your designs and talk about, this one. Yes, this one. Talk to me about this.
Oh my God, I didn't even post that one yet, but I was, you know what? I'm going to just send it to you because I love it. So I like doing different things. I like doing suits. I like doing dresses. I like doing menswear. This was fierce because I actually saw in a Camila Cabello video, she wore something like this. And it just was, I thought it was so fierce. And actually, if you look at the detail of this suit in person, that is not just an extra little sleeve that's pulled up on top. The whole sleeve is built like that. So it was a mess doing it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get this right. So I probably messed up about 3 sleeves, but I got it in the end before I sent it. It was fierce. So I didn't see it, but I love it.
That is fierce. That's crazy fierce. Like, how do you even do something like that?
I sometimes don't even know. I wake up in the morning and I look at it and I'm like, damn, I made that? That's nice.
I mean, you have to be proud of yourself, right?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
There has to be some sort of confidence when you're creating something in your end product.
Yes. So when I'm creating, I literally will, I don't know. I wait till, I like to have days off. I go, I take my dogs out, I have huskies, hang out, do whatever I want. But I usually get my most inspiration when it's like 2 or 3 a.m. I start working so late. Sometimes I'll message my clients like, oh, I'm working on your dress. And I'm like, oh, shoot, it's 4 a.m. I'm sorry. But like, I'm like a night owl, I would say. I stay up and I create and I don't know. I get the most inspiration when I'm up late, I guess. But
I hear that.
The confidence builds as you go because every day I learn that you can always be better. You get better. I find myself getting better at what I do every single day, and I try to do every single thing to make everything perfect. So,
I mean, when your title is Mr. Everything.
That's so funny. When I was Mr. US of A, the owner Craig Henderson started calling me Mr. Everything. I was like, why do you call me Mr. Everything? And he's like, because you're everything. So a lot of people think that I say I'm Mr. Everything because I've won every title, which is not true. I still have a few titles I haven't won. He started calling me Mr. Everything because he just thought I was everything and that I could do everything. So
does that mean we are going to see you compete in the near future?
I would love to. Oh my God, when all this mess gets better, I would love to compete. I want to compete though when I really want to compete when everything goes back to normal, when we can have the audience and everybody feel really comfortable without being, so cautious about the COVID situation because it is really tricky to have so many people in a place and you're always freaking out and you're close to each other backstage. So, but I definitely, I love competing. I love pageants.
Well, we know Continental is definitely in your future.
Yes.
And what else would you have your eye on if you were to say another system or two?
So I won US of A and I won American Gen and Westland. I really would love to do an international pageant. I would.
Okay.
I've been asked a few times, like Mr. International and stuff like that. Either I could represent Lebanon, which is my home country, or I could represent USA. I would want to represent USA because it's where I was born and raised. I was raised in Michigan, so I mean it's nice that they asked me that, but I would love to go and represent the USA in an international pageant.
You and I have talked about this before. We're both from Michigan.
Yes.
Where in Michigan are you from again?
From right outside of Detroit, like the Dearborn Heights area, all that area.
I knew you were going to say Dearborn.
Huge Lebanese population. A lot of people don't, they don't know about Michigan a lot. But if you're in that area, it's literally all Lebanese people. Like my high school is probably 90% Lebanese boys and girls, and it was a mess.
I didn't know Nova just put in the chat that born in St. Clair Shores. I didn't know that, actually. That's a new one for me. So I was not born in Michigan, but I lived in the Lansing area, and I went to Grand Ledge High School, and then Michigan State was my alma mater. Yeah, people don't. When I showed my husband this the first time, he was like, "What are you doing?
Why are you doing your hand?"
What is this?
Do it.
And then you can do the Upper Peninsula if you do this. Yeah, it's crazy because you posted a video or a photo of you at a wedding in Michigan, and I think I commented, and then we started talking about both of us being here. What's been the hardest thing for you during COVID as a designer?
Oh my God. So before COVID, things were so easy to get to access fabrics, supplies. It was easy for me to travel to LA and come back and, buy a lot of stuff to make beautiful clothing. It was really hard to not have those things. It was really restricted. So ordering and having to explain to people, this is a process now. It's not the same as it was a few months ago where I could go up the street and get all the fabrics that I needed. It was a struggle trying to find supply and to, get in a timely manner, because people don't realize that it's just, it's hard doing everything fast during the COVID. It's a mess. Literally is a mess. So it was really difficult. I think the hardest thing though for me, that was hard, but I kind of worked it out. The hardest thing for me was to lose those friends and clients interaction, because I knew that they were struggling, losing the jobs and stuff. It was so heartbreaking, because after working with people for so long, they become your friends. We talk every day, even if it's not about a garment or something. I talk to these people all the time, so it was heartbreaking. So I actually, during the COVID, I started doing masks. I stopped making costumes for, I would say over a month. I didn't have time to do costumes. I made over 5,000 masks during the COVID. So it was a lot, yeah, but it was really hard.
We have a couple here.
Yeah, it was hard seeing the bars in the venues and pageants and everything slow down, because it was a scary time. So, but 2021 is here. It's gonna get better. I know it. So.
Ooh, that's actually a great question. Who is the person that would make you scared to design for, or nervous to design for?
Oh my God. So I could say, I'm going to tell you the story, but I can't say a lot because I could tell you a few, but I'll make it quick. When Trinity was going to do Taylor Swift for VMAs and Jolie and stuff, it scared me, because I was like, oh my God. So Taylor Swift, you're dancing next to her. It's going to be on international television. That scared the hell out of me. I was like, bitch, this has to be perfect. So I would even go back even more, even though I try to be a perfectionist already. I was freaking out for that. Who the scariest person to sew for me was actually my mom, because she taught me everything. So in October last year, you said you saw me go to a wedding. My cousins were having a wedding. She was busy. She runs a kitchen and bath store. She designed everything in here. She does all that. So she was super busy. She was like, I really want you to make me a dress. I was like, okay, I'll do it. But in the back of my mind, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to sew for my mom. I'm going to get red so hard if I mess up anything. So it was the scariest thing I've ever had to make, was for my mom. I made her it was a silver, I wish I would have sent you it, a silver and lilac beautiful two-piece gown for the wedding. It turned out fierce. It fit her perfect. without her doing any measurements, because at the time
Ah,
I was still living in Michigan. That was the scariest thing I've ever had to sew. I don't care for who, what TV, anything. That was literally it was the worst. But I was so glad that it came out good, because you always look for the confirmation from your parents to be
oh
perfect.
yeah.
Always. So I was like, oh my God, I hope she likes it. But it worked out. Thank God. So.
The most nervous I've ever been on a show was when I brought my family on.
Oh yeah, of course. Your family. It's the worst. It's a different kind of fear.
Yeah.
Like if you're competing in a pageant and there's 1,000 people there, you're like, oh, okay, that's fine. But if one person from your family is there, you're like, oh my God, if I mess up, that's it. I'm done. Like a little kid, it's so
It
hard.
really is, though.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's the approval nervousness that you're looking at. So let's look at another one of your garments. Yes. Oh my gosh. All of that pleating.
That was a lot of work.
How long did it take you to finish that gown?
Well, because oh my God, that fabric was such a pain, because it was just a mess. First, it was for Miss Gay America. I did it for Courtney Kelly. Unfortunately, she didn't make the top 12, but it was supposed to be one of her gowns for the pageant. She ended up wearing it on Final Night to a tip around, which I thought it was so fierce.
Yes.
But I spent a few days, 4 or 5 days, on pleating and hand sewing, because you don't just put that stuff through a machine. I literally had to sit there, pleat it, sew everything down, then the next pleat, sew everything down. Like, it was a lot of work, but it's one of my favorite. I love it.
Yeah, and you put the zipper through the pleats I saw on the photo.
Yeah, well, I sewed the entire base of the dress with the zipper. Then I had to go and do the pleats according to the zipper, because I wanted it to match on.
Yeah, there she is, Courtney Kelly. Hi, honey.
So it was hard, and it's heavy. That dress is heavy. That fabric.
I believe it. I'm going to ask you a question that I know everybody else is wondering, but it's not a question I sent you.
Okay.
What are you wearing underneath that vest?
Underneath this vest is nothing. This is actually, hold on, let me show you. I made it. I kind of look like Aladdin in this, because it's actually like a romper.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, so it's like a button-down romper that I made, but nothing. That's a sneak peek.
I think the next comment would be that you have it buttoned too high.
We're keeping it classy. Come on.
Okay. Well, if you do want to see those photos, go to Jeffrey's Instagram or Facebook.
Go to a show that I'm in. You'll see it all.
Also something. Oh yeah, yes.
Yes. That was one of the most exciting things that I did, because that was actually Vogue posted it on the website, because Shea Coulee used that for her music video, and I didn't know that they were going to use it in the article. And me and another amazing designer, Josh Wanaponte, had their looks published with Shea on the Vogue website. So literally, I was like just dumbfounded when I saw it, because it's a little dream for a designer,
That's crazy. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I loved that. It was super cool. A lot of work, because that vinyl stretch, so it had to be perfect.
I can't imagine working with that. My sewing machine is probably not even close to as industrial as yours is. So I'm sewing on I think it was like the Project Runway Brother machine that came out like 15 years ago. I'm still sewing on that thing.
Some days when I don't want to use an industrial machine that I have, there's certain things that I'm like, well, I'm not going to put miles on this. I'm going to use a basic machine, because anything works. If you can do it, do it. So more power to that Brother sewing machine from Project Runway. I love it. I'm sure it's made you a lot of fierce stuff.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's been sewing all 15 years I've been on stage. So
no, that's fierce though.
Before we put up the next thing, there's actually one thing about you that I mentioned earlier, but you coached me a little bit for Miss Gay United States, which I am a former national of now.
I remember that like it was yesterday.
We can say it now because it's no longer. I didn't win, so it's fine. I didn't win that year, but you actually came up to my room and we chat about a lot of things, and we just had a really good time talking about drag in general.
Yeah, I remember. I was back there and I was like, she didn't know how well she did. I remember I was telling you, you were so amazing. Just come back. You're gonna win this pageant. Like the things that you did, you know, from gown to talent and everything, it was different than everybody else's. And I was like, I just want her to know how fierce she was, because it's hard as an entertainer when you do a pageant and you don't have somebody to come backstage that's like a stranger. Basically, you were a stranger to me. I didn't know you. I wanted to make sure that you knew that you were good enough to win. You're good enough to be a title holder. So I wish sometimes, you know, I had that person when I'm competing, when you lose, that I had somebody from the outside come and say, you know, I love this. But it's hard in our industry because, you know, you go to Facebook and either it's somebody getting red or somebody with a negative comment. And I like to do that. I love to give feedback. I love to help people. So that was amazing. Yeah. And
it was one of my, it will always stick with me that you did that. And that, also that judging panel, first of all, it was you, Fantasia, it was Tiffany Hunter. Yeah. We had Colton at the time, which is now Kat Kelly.
Yes.
And then I don't remember who the fifth one was. I'm trying to think. Oh, Judas. Judas was there.
Yeah, Judas, right?
Yeah. So it was a really stacked judging panel as well.
Good.
And then Alexis was hosting with Brandana.
Yeah. That was
Ariane, sorry. With
Ariane. Yeah. That was a good one. You did amazing. And you went back and won. So look, everything happens for a reason.
The crown is there.
Right.
On to the next one. I'm actually going to Entertainer of the Year next. So we will see when everything comes back.
Right. Of course. Yeah.
But let's take a look at another one of your designs. Oh, let me tell you, when this popped up, I was mad that I didn't ask you for it.
I love that. So Jade sent me a little sketch of that. And she was like, do you think that you can create this? I was like, oh my God, yes. Let me do it, please. Because it was Jada Essence Hall. It was for her premiere of Drag Race. And she was very secretive about everything. So she's like, I need it for this, but she didn't say exactly what for. But she's like, I promise you're going to see it. It's going to be fierce. I was like, oh, well, let me do it. So I literally, the day she sent me it, I went and got everything that same day. And I was like, let me get this done. And it came out sickening. I loved it. It was not a difficult one because all that doesn't stretch a lot. So it was really fierce. I was excited to do that. It's one of my favorite. That dress is so controversial for me because somebody in Kenya, the country, had copied the dress and started posting it on Instagram. And I didn't even know, but a lot of followers went and they were like, this is not your design and blah, 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 blah. So I was getting tagged like crazy one day. I was like, what's going on? So they ended up apologizing to me, but they had put that they had made the original design and it was a mess, but it's literally one of my favorite things. It's hard to say so many cool things.
You've designed some crazy stuff and it's all been amazing. That's why this and the birthday outfit are definitely coming from you.
I love it.
What else do we have? Oh, those were our photos. So I do have another question for you. What's next we talked about what's next for you, pageants in the future, hopefully, but what's next for Jeffrey Kelly Designs? Like, what do you have on the back burner? What are we waiting for? Who's going to scream next?
A few things. So there's some amazing pieces that I've worked on for people that I can't say the names because it's on contract, but I can say this because they didn't tell me anything. Right now, they're in the top 10 in the billboards.
Yes!
So there's a fierce work coming out that I promise everybody's going to see it. So it's going to be everything. And another project that I'm working on that I can't say a lot because it's going to be a mess. Oh my God, I just dropped something. It's going to be a mess if I say anything. So I just can't say anything right now. But
Ooh, Lindsay Taylor says, give us the dirty.
I can, I really can, but I promise you will see it.
Also, a question about sewing for Lindsay Taylor. You probably can make a gown for her out of a half a yard of fabric because she's the most beautiful, skinniest, like bodied down girl ever. And it takes like 8 yards of fabric to make a garment for me and like a half a yard to make one for her.
Her measurements were insane. She sent it to me and it's like little waist, hips, up here, spheres. It was just, I was like, is this the right measurements? Like she has a, like literally, I have a mannequin that is literally hers because not everybody could use that mannequin. So I keep it aside for her. And when I make something, I'll use that one. But she is a stunning, stunning queen. She lives in Michigan too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, did they move back to Michigan? Oh, yeah, they are in Michigan, aren't they? Yeah, they were in Florida for a while.
Yeah.
Speaking of, how is Florida right now? How are you doing?
Florida's good. Everything is running smoothly right now. Sometimes I get a little frustrated because people do not follow the safety precautions, all of that. I haven't really got to go to the gym. I've been trying to work out here because you literally will go to the gym and there's just no masks or anything. So I don't understand it. They're just really not caring at all, I guess. So
well, we cannot tell that you haven't been to the gym. Oh, we are getting questions from the audience. I love this. What would you say to the up and coming sewing people who sew?
Okay. What would you say?
The future Jeffrey Kellys.
Oh, the people that are up and coming sewers. I would say stick to your gut. I think the most some of my best stuff are things that I thought were going to be crazy, but then when I put it down on paper and I end up sewing it, I think they come out, some of my best work. If you do find inspiration in other designers, it doesn't hurt to tag them or to say something nice about them. I don't like when people will take a design and then they don't give you credit for it or stuff like that. And also, it's okay to be friends with other designers. I have to say that because a lot of people try to make designers, feud against each other, and I don't see it until I get these crazy messages. Oh, this person and that person. And a lot of people write me a message like, "Are you friends with Judas and this and that?" And Judas Elliott's one of my best friends. Like seriously, we're both one of the top designers in Florida, and people don't realize that we're such good friends. Like I've known Judas for so long, and it's okay to be friends with other designers. I see a lot of people that separate themselves, and it's hard because there's not. To you, it seems like a lot of designers, but it's very limited, and it's very hard to get stuff from quality people, which he is, and I consider myself, and Josh Swan, and Cowell. There's amazing designers, and you should always stick together. If somebody wants you to make something from another designer, I usually will say something. Hey, this person is trying to get this. Do you want to message them? I actually just had a message yesterday about that because a client was reaching out to another designer trying to have a dress that I designed made, and they actually wrote me back, Jeffrey does amazing work. You should message him, and I really appreciate that. That's all anybody could ask for. So
that's common courtesy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Well, my dear, I am so grateful to have you on the show. You are a wonderful person. I'm so excited to have my second garment by you, and I can't wait to continue with this in the future. You are a beautiful person and have been since the day I met you. So thank you for being on the show. You are a designer to the goddamn stars, literally now. Not even just the queens, but we will see more from you coming up.
Thank you for doing this for all of us business owners, not just us three that are on here today, but it's amazing to have this platform to speak about your brand, and I think you're an amazing person. I always have, and I'm excited to work with you, and thank you for everybody supporting. So
thank you. Jeffrey's contact information is down below, and the stunningly handsome Jeffrey Kelly. Like, come on now. All right, we are jumping into the last interview. My girl, at Big Girl Nails has been the most patient with me. I love her to death. She is goddamn stunning person, beautiful inside and out. I am so yes. I pulled one of the drag promos. So on stage, known as Coco Mark Stone, we do love her, and my girl Mia is the owner of Big Girl Nails by Coco. So let's chat nails, girl. How are you, babe?
Hello, how are you?
I am loving life and so happy that the three of you were here.
It's been awesome. It's been some great interviews. So,
tell me how you're doing. Tell me what's been going on with you, and let's talk some nails. Yes, Lindsay K. Taylor.
I love Lindsay K. Taylor. She's a sweetheart. But let's see. What do you want to talk about nails? What do you want to talk about? Oh, you forgot to ask me. I brought you an Iowa favorite. I brought you an Iowa favorite. Boone's Farm Honey.
So what's in your glass? Some Boone's Farm. Yes.
Baby, cheers.
Cheers.
Iowa. Oh, Tampa. I live. Hey, Tyler. How are you, baby?
Tampa Tyler. Ooh, look at him. He is handsome.
There's a lot of cute in Florida, for sure.
So what have you been up to? Let's talk about you really quick, and then we'll talk about nails.
Girl, craziness. So I just moved back to Iowa probably 3 months ago. Just from Florida, got back home, closer to home, where people are, family is getting older and people need some assistance, and it's good to be closer to home too, to spend some time, especially the holidays when we're all locked inside and away from everyone, and it's good to be with those people and kind of touch base, back home. So that's the biggest thing that's happened recently. But as far as COVID goes, things got crazy, So as far as doing nails person to person, that got shut down pretty quick back in March and February. So things had to change. And when that changed, that's when I kind of got more into the lane of doing the press-ons to ship to people, because then there's no person-to-person contact. It's just through the mail. So it kind of was a way to take us my standard business of doing nails, doing some hair, and I had to change it then, and it became, more of a user-friendly system for the times. So
let me tell you, the first set I got your information from Roxy Andrews, which
it's been it's been like a year probably. I think it's been at least a year. I think with you.
Yeah. There we go, Roxy and your nails. This Roxy and I will swear until we die about your nails. Your nails,
love it.
And I say this and I mean it, could be run over by a semi truck and will still, they will still be here.
Oh,
they're the thickest in a good way. They're not too thick because they still feel like nails, but they are the thickest nails you can get anywhere.
That's my biggest fear, is that someone will try and remove them, put them on, whatever, clean them, however you handle them, and they'll snap, they'll break, they'll injure someone. So that's why I try and take that time to make sure that they are super durable, super clean, so there's no issues when people go to reuse and reuse them as many times as they need to. So
yeah. Roxy actually came up with a little way to make sure that she can reuse them and reuse them. She went and bought one of those nail drills.
Yeah, she got her nail tech degree. I'm just kidding. She's very talented, and she knows how to say drag. So definitely, making them stay well. So
I think I have probably over 30 sets from you at this point.
Yeah, I think so. A lot. So.
Probably closer to 40, if not more than that.
That you were one of the people who got me through what was the transition period, and let's just stick with the nail thing. When COVID hit and things kind of got shaky, I was like, okay, Aaliyah is still ordering nails. So I was like, life must be okay for her. Someone's having a good time. So let's just focus on making beautiful things. And, you were one of the clients that really stuck with me when, things kind of got a little hot and heavy. So.
Well, girl, I will continue to, because as Nova stated earlier, I want something to match every garment that I have and every piece of jewelry that I have. And sometimes I just message you random things and I'm like, now I need something to match my nails.
Girl, I'm struggling because the last one you're like, I want fuchsia, but I want alligator skin and I want a holographic. I'm like, girl. someone's Willy Wonka nightmares or something. It's fun. I love the challenge. So
It really is though. It's like 2 or 3 a.m. and I message you, and then you message me back the next day, and you're like, "What is this? What did you do?"
I'm like, okay, sounds interesting. Let me look it up and see what we think. So, girl, I got you. Absolutely.
You really can do anything. I think I've said you sent me a Pac-Man set. There's what is that? The marbling here and just these. I don't know. I've been able to message you just a color even and say like I want something crazy that's green, and you were like, great, let's do it.
I love it. That's the best, because when you run into trouble is when you set too many boundaries, because then someone has a really clear idea of what they want. And if we're not on the same page, I mean, even when someone says, hey, do you have anything normal? I'm like, well, what's normal to you, baby? Because someone's normal is not your normal, But
that's true.
Yeah, for sure. But I love it. I love all of it. I love, creating people's dreams and their designs and stuff. That's the goal. So
you said what got you into doing the press-ons, which was COVID and not being able to see people face to face. But what got you into doing nails in the first place?
I went to hair school. I did that whole side of things. And then we had just a few small portions where we would do some nails. And I was like, this is my shit. Because I used to go to the nail salons and stuff too. And, sometimes when you go to a place that's like just a quickie, your general nail salon too, they're trying to get you in and out as fast as they can. They don't want to do a bunch of crazy stuff. And also they don't really want to charge people a lot of money, because most people don't want to pay a lot of money to get their nails done really quick. That's the other side of the coin too. So I was sometimes get frustrated with the things, like I was like, I really want to try something, but no one around here does that. It's like a niche thing. You have to find certain nail techs and stuff that will do the nail artistry. And it was something that I was like, I have an interest in this. I like the chemistry side of things. I like the art side of things. I love it all. And then, just have an eye for geometry and stuff is the other part of it. So it's all good. So
I love that. You can do custom logos and all of that too, right?
Of course, we can do everything. So
let's do it. Let's do the logo.
Aaliyah, big time. Put on some thumbs. Big time.
She's gonna send me a set of nails, and it's gonna be alligator, fuchsia, this big, Viva Aaliyah.
That long, just 10 feet long. We'll say Viva Aaliyah.
I do. Every time you ask me, you always say it too. You said, I know you usually want the long coffin nails, but I'm gonna ask you again. And so I think that's something that really sticks with me also. You care enough to ask over and over and over again.
Because I don't I don't want to get stuck in a stagnant rut either. I know other people are the same way. If you want to change something up, sometimes people want to do something different, and it's one set of nails, so why not try it?
I know. I'm gonna give you a heart attack when I ask for my pageant nails, and they're like this long.
Oh, girl, fine. That's fine. Because I do nails which has been the other part of my kind of nail expansion, because I was so big into doing drag nails and doing things a little bit more crazy, a little bit more on the verge of art. And then I have a new clientele, which are a lot of cisgendered women. And, and they have smaller nails, which means a smaller nail piece to make. It also means sometimes the more simpler designs, they just want the pink and whites. They want to do some very simple things, or like maybe 1 or 2 accent nails. So it's very like dulled down from the drag nail. And that's something that I do too, which is nice. It's cool for them. They're reusable nails. They're durable, but it's not a salon visit, so it's a little bit safer. So
yeah.
And
you were, I don't know if you still are here in Iowa, but you were a bartender in Florida as well, right?
In Florida, yeah, I did that for I've been a bartender for since I was in college. I'm trying to think like an Olive Garden is where I started bartending really, and I bartended at the gay bar in Iowa City, and then used that to kind of make my way through Florida and Missouri and Florida, and then ended back in Iowa. So,
you're a Mark Stone. Who in the line? Or where in the line are you? Who's your drag mother for the Mark?
Alicia is my mother. Alicia is.
Okay, I thought so. She is also a seamstress to the Queens, and
she's amazing.
Such a stunning person, and yeah, I just got from her as well. So, we'll be wearing your nails and her garments together.
Love it. I love it. That's awesome. Awesome.
So outside of like not being able to see people in person, what have been the other hard things about doing even the press on nails during COVID?
Honestly, the best thing is communication is like that's something that can be like a little difficult as far as people placing orders and stuff. The communication between what would be the nail tech and the customer can sometimes be a little wishy-washy with terms and what are the shape, styles, lengths, all that stuff. But otherwise, I mean, it's very easy to use pictures, and if people aren't good with the terminology, go to pictures, go to whatever other experiences. If you have a ruler, measure how long do you want your stuff off the end of your finger. Like there's some really basic ways to kind of break it down. That's the only difficulty I kind of face with the press on game. But other than that, I mean, it's fairly kind of basic when it comes to it. And the other thing that I don't know if a lot of places do this kind of stuff, but I make the extended nail sizes for what would be biological male drag performers. So they have nails that actually fit their what can be larger thumbs than what stores offer or places online offer, because they focus on what's a cisgendered clientele, and those nails don't often fit other performers. So that's something that I offer. So
I was gonna say, I remember that when we did my first set, you said, do me a favor and take a picture of your thumb next to, I think it was a dime, right?
Dime, yep. That's the sizing for pretty much everybody. So
and that to me, I was like, that's another personal quality about this business that I'm like, no other nail person has asked me that. Nobody's ever said, I'm gonna make this to the size of your actual thumb. And these are not press-on nails that you just buy from the store. You hand make these.
Those are Frankenstein. They are Frankenstein nails, baby. So
they're like handmade acrylic. Yes, that's another set I have from you.
Oh yeah, I love that set. I love
that set is one of my favorites. But you hand make every nail, right?
Everything, absolutely everything.
What's your process for that?
It's very similar to if you go get your nails done. It starts off as sometimes a tip, depends on what the person orders or whatnot, but then it's always a tip, and then laid acrylic, whether you have designs inside or outside. Sometimes it's gel application, sometimes it's a hybrid nail, so it's part acrylic, part gel, and then the filing, shaping, all that stuff. And then, I mean, go from there. You top it off, design work, everything. I mean, that was the biggest thing when I moved, was trying to pack the salon, because there's, I have so much of like just a few little teeny tiny things. I have so many of those little containers full, like a million things. And it's just because you just need to have it once in a while for someone's design, or a certain set of colored rhinestones for a certain thing. So you have to have every color in, smaller amounts and smaller sizes. So, but the process from beginning to end is just like getting your nails done. It's just, without the hand. So
that's crazy. It seems to me like it would be harder to not have a hand there.
Okay, so I'll say it sometimes is a little easier because there's no like, so how was your day today? Oh, really? That's going on. Let me check your phone. There's none of that. So it's solid, like go time. I put on Netflix, I put on whatever, and we are on it. So yeah, there's no struggle there.
I love that. Actually, I'm definitely like a silent worker, so I hear that. I'm somebody who can pound out a garment for myself or style a wig. As long as nobody's talking to me, I am good.
Definitely easier to focus, that's for sure. So
yeah. Another set I have from you.
Oh, beautiful. I love it.
The thing,
if I do say so myself, I love that set. So
the reason I wanted to pull this is because not only did you do the tops of the nails, but the bottoms of the nails, which is why the two are flipped, are done in the hot pink as well.
It's a hybrid nail is what they call that. So what it has is it has the gel, which is all inside the nail. So nothing will peel off, nothing will come off if you wear it however you wear it. But the gel is the first layer on the thing, so that's all you see first. And then the acrylic is stacked on top of the gel after you clean it and kind of buff it. And then from then on, you have to do your designs and stuff too. I think that one, I think the leopard print is hand painted on that one. It's not acrylic, but
yeah. I mean, I'm in awe every time I open. every time I open. And also another thing I want to say, we can put up another photo because the your boxes are put together so beautifully, and you do them in order, and you always actually include an extra nail.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I love, and they're protected so well. You have a stronger tape that you use for the nails to sit them on, and my first set of nails still sticks to the tape.
Oh, it should. Yeah, big time.
So it just, to me, it's like the extra level of detail that we see, and it's you make some beautiful products.
Good, awesome.
You're also a tattooed sister, I see.
Oh, girl. Big time. She goes up to here-ish. She's very, very much that. I saw yours today, too, for, like, the first time. You're not wearing sleeves.
This one's always out, and then my back is covered. I have one down my thigh, so I'm a tattooed girl. The one thing I wish is when we compete is they would stop with those, like, crazy tattoo rules, because
I know
90% of the time the tattoo cover-ups don't look good.
It looks worse than just showing your tattoo, really.
Yeah.
Really good at covering it. It just looks worse. So.
And if I'm comfortable going out like this in every day, why shouldn't I be comfortable in a gown or a garment?
Completely. And that's the queen who's going to represent you when they reign. So, they're going to wear the tattoos out when they're the queen. So, why not, I mean,
I agree.
People for who they are. So just do it there.
That's it. We have to start respecting people a little bit more for who they are rather than what we want them to be.
Completely. And the times change, sister. Those old pageant rules sometimes, girl, let them go.
They are. Are you a nail wearer as well? Or do you just create?
I usually do wear nails, but so when I was wearing nails, and when COVID hit, I stopped wearing nails because I was just doing nails at home, and I really wasn't like leaving my house much. So I was like, why put nails on? And then when I did have nails on, they'd be all junked up from having done other people's nails and stuff at home. And then someone would go, oh my gosh, let me see your nails. And I'm like, oh yeah, I do nails. And I show them my nails, and they look like crusty urchins. So I was like, I'll just not wear nails. I could just give a business card or something. Is a little easier than try to explain why my nails look bad, even though I'm a nail tech, and and it's a whole process. So
just send them to the Instagram, right?
Completely. Send them right to the Facebook. So.
I think we have how many more? We have one more photo of nails that you have done. Oh, I actually have not seen these. Are these yours?
No, that is a friend of mine, Melissa. She lives in Florida, but they're actually okay. So it's a glow in the dark. The pink is a fuchsia when it glows in the dark, and it has a lace overlay, and then just a little rhinestone accent, some chrome, some fun. So
that lace overlay got me together.
Oh, it's pretty. It's like we call them the lingerie set. That's what we kind of call them, but.
I think I have 3 sets that glow in the dark, and people don't believe me. And then the club lights, well, back when we had club lights, the club lights would come on. Yeah. And people were like, what? How did you do that? Girl, I didn't do it. My nail designer did. Here's her card.
Let me tell you, okay, so girl, this is the weirdest story, but the glow-in-the-dark nails became super popular with the cisgendered women for their bedroom activities.
Oh?
Yeah. Interesting. I'm not mad. I live. Okay.
Right. Do what you gotta do, girl.
Oh, girl, do entertain it, man. However, I guess so.
I mean, there it is.
Hello.
So what would you say is like going to be the stepping stone for Big Girl Nails by Coco in 2021? What are we looking for? Like, what should we be checking out?
Okay, so my personal goal for myself is to get better at the social media side of things and organize myself a little bit better on social media, because right now the ordering process, I mean, my promotions and stuff, it's pretty much all through Facebook, because I have been very lax on social media for like the past 2 years, 3 years, just because I've not been a huge fan. I'm just not someone who spends a lot of time on Facebook. I don't spend a lot of time on Instagram looking at other people's pictures and stuff. I'm either with friends or I'm doing something by myself or whatever. I'm just, I just didn't see, why investing that much time into those things would be such a good idea. But now I've started to notice that is where things are going as far as like promoting your business and advertising, as well as taking orders and reaching new clientele. So those are important places to be, and I need to focus my effort onto getting those things in order. So that's my next goal for the short term, long term, short term, however we do. So.
And do we have any designs in the works that we should like be checking out?
Girl, a ton of your shit here. Girl, yes. So you have a pile. So whenever someone places an order with me, they get a pile. And you have a pile right now. I mean, I'm going to do a quick little tip trying to avoid the seasickness here, but this is your pile. That's
oh my gosh.
Just everything, girl. Okay. Here we go. Now I've tipped. Let me re-tip again here. Did it fix? Okay. All kinds of stuff. Louis V with some color, crazy colorness here. Every different color rhinestone, neon rhinestones. Yeah, some fun stuff for you. So the graffiti set, that's where.
Yes, the graffiti set. I almost forgot that I asked you about that. Sometimes I have to go back in my messages and see what I've messaged you, especially you, Nova, and Jeffrey about, because I forget sometimes that I have these like 2 a.m. epiphanies, and then I message you about them. And then usually you're like, okay, is this what you meant? And I'm like, yep, because I was messaging you at 2 a.m.
But I love it. That's the thing. So that graffiti set's been like in my mind all the time when I'm cooking, when I'm doing anything else. I'm always like, maybe I should do this. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should do this. So tomorrow is the official start and probably the end date for that one. So, we'll send pictures. But.
And this is how I like to approach designers. You can tell me as a designer if I'm like, I think the way we've interacted has worked out. I usually say, I want a graffiti set. And I've been thinking about it I said to you, like with a white background. But if you see something different, do it. Like that's usually how I approach you with anything. And I feel when you give a designer their like time and their creativity to put into something, that's why I like this. I sent Jeffrey a picture of a dress, but I said, please put your spin on it because I want Jeffrey in the dress. I want to see his creativity. I want to see your creativity in all these nails that I order from you. That's the right way to go about it, in my opinion.
It definitely gets, I think, the best product and allows the designer to have as much fun as they can, That's the other thing too. Like when things are too constrictive, like I said, that's when you'll get design that just doesn't come out right. Or, you just sit there and you're like, oh, let me just finish this set so I can move on to the next set that's fun, and that's just enough to say, I'm thinking graffiti and I want to do white as the base. That's enough. That's the seed in the pot. And that's just, the first hit of rain. That's boom, there it is. So
perfect.
Big time.
So y'all heard it here first. And if you want some nails that are going to last you literally through the apocalypse, then you need to order from Big Girl Nails by Coco. Instagram is below. It is scrolling by. You have not only become the best nail designer to me, but a dear friend. We talked so much and had so many conversations. And I'm so grateful that the Gay United States system has caught on to who you are, because you deserve all the business.
Y'all are fierce. I had no idea how. So because I had clientele, I had Bianca Simone for a while, and that was like especially during the first part of like COVID, and I had no idea how everyone was kind of related and everything too. Until one day I kind of looked at everyone's pages and stuff and kind of sat down and pieced all together, and then you're all part of the same system. It was a little freaky, but it was cool. It was very cool because I was like, oh, these people are all really awesome people. So, I mean, it says a lot for the system, too, that you guys are just really stunning, talented, professional people, well-spoken, educated. You don't mess with people's business. Y'all are right there. It's completely appreciated, and I can't even put it in words. Yeah, I love you very much. I love the group very much. So,
well, we would love to have you a part of the sisterhood if you are still competing.
Oh, girl, please. I didn't get my cha-cha heels for Christmas, Girl. My shoes are on the shelf for a while, but thank you. But yes, I would love to, if I can in any way support Gay United States in something, just, throw nail sets in a price package or something, whatever I can do,
Yeah, so. JP usually watches, so he will definitely be able to speak to that a little bit more, but I will definitely put it in his ear. I do want to tell you a story. About my second set of Big Girl nails. My husband told me I should tell it on here. Okay. I've actually told it on my show before. Okay. So, this is how resilient your nails are.
You didn't eat it, did you?
I did not eat it.
Okay, good. Okay. We're okay. Whew.
No, I was performing. This was right before the COVID shutdown. I messaged you, I think, in January, which was so a year ago. Like you said, I messaged you at the beginning of January because I had heard from Roxy how great you were. You sent me 2 sets, and one of the sets was a hot pink set with rhinestones on them. It was one of my first 2 sets.
I remember. I do remember. Yeah.
And I was performing. I was doing a brunch. I stupidly hit the back of a chair.
Is that what happened to your pinky for a while?
That's it.
Girl, no way.
So the nail stayed intact, 100%.
Off?
But my real nail, because I am not. I'm very old school with all of my drags still in a lot of ways. I glue all of them on.
Well, hello. Yeah, most people
They are nail glued on. There we go. Yep. And I use that every show. And I hit the back of the chair and the nail, I had to get the nail removed. My doctor though was a friend of Miss Fame.
Okay.
And was like, I see what we're doing here. He asked if he could put the nail on his Instagram story.
I love it.
So your nail was on Dr. Jake Deutsch. He's a surgeon and a ready care doctor. What do we call it? Emergency care doctor here in New York City. And your nails were on his Instagram story because he actually had to remove the nail.
I cannot believe it. I wonder what happened to your finger for the longest time because I noticed you had it wrapped or you weren't wearing a nail in it. I was like, okay, I wonder.
Yeah.
Whatever. Girl.
And so I wore the rest of the set
Mm-hmm.
that wasn't attached to the nail for the remainder of my finger healing. Now, obviously, I'm back. But it takes 4 months for your nail to grow back. Just for anybody that's missing one, 4 months. So don't do that.
Girl, I cannot believe that. Oh my gosh. Part of me feels terrible. Part of me is like, yes, come on, nails.
Yeah, no,
They're
the most resilient nails ever. I hit it hard on the back. Actually, I didn't notice. I was hosting a brunch and I was talking and like, you know, you go around to your crowds, you talk on the mic, you do your thing. And I was talking to this woman and her boyfriend. And the girl was like, kind of like looking at my hand and my arm. And her boyfriend was like, basically getting sick. He was like
you're bleeding, bitch.
Yeah. And I had blood going down my arm. And finally I looked, I was like, are you okay, sweetheart? And his girlfriend kind of was like, you're going to want to look at that. And so I looked and I was like, oh, I'm bleeding. Coming to the stage next is our next performer.
Damn. I had no idea that's what happened to your finger. That's crazy.
Girl, those nails lasted.
Girl, so did you get the nail back from the doctor? Or do I need to make you a
Actually, the funny thing is he put my finger with the nail on it in acetone.
Okay.
And the nail still lasted through acetone.
It will. You have to file them down for them to really come off in acetone, girl.
Yeah, I got pain meds in my finger, injected into my finger, so I couldn't feel it, numbing. And then we soaked it. So.
Oh Jesus, that is hell on earth, girl. Oh my God.
It was uncomfortable.
Yeah, no joke.
I honestly didn't notice it at first. It wasn't until like the healing process that it started to feel something. So, a testament to Big Girl Nails by Coco.
I guess. God. Oh, be careful. Be careful.
I know. Well, I do also ask you for the longer nails. Most girls are probably not as. I mean, some girls are, but not most girls are as long as I usually go, right?
Yeah. No, not always. Yeah, you're still very long. So,
I like to live up to my Latinx heritage. So there we go.
Girl.
But I adore you. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you, and thank you to Chip for figuring out my problem.
Yes, that's my husband working on the tech. Our anniversary is at tomorrow. I said at tomorrow. It's tomorrow. So But thank you for being on the show. If anybody wants to order, please Instagram my dear sis Mia over at Big Girl Nails by Coco. You are a phenomenal human being and a wonderful, wonderful artist. So please order. I will see you soon, and we will talk very soon because you know I'm always thinking of shit. Bye, baby.
Thank you so much, babe. Bye.
All right, everybody. That was a amazing show. Thank you to Fierce Drag Jewels, Jeffrey Kelly Designs, and Big Girl Nails by Coco for all that they have done for me. You will always see my nails done by Big Girl Nails by Coco. You will always see me in my Fierce Drag Jewels. And Jeffrey is working on getting some more garments made as we speak. So thank you to my dear friends. And thank you for watching. Remember, support your small businesses. There's a reason I did this. We need to support small businesses. We need to make sure we are taking care of our own communities. And so if you see somebody who makes something that you like, please hit them up for it. And their prices are worth it because all of these things are custom. They are very reasonable in my opinion. I know Nova was talking to me before the show about working for Toddlers and Tiaras at one point and how they were in awe at the price in a good way. But I know a lot of the drag community has lost work recently. A lot of our trans community, anybody who's an entertainer on stage, has lost their work. And so we want to make sure that if you have the means, you are being courteous to our designers and don't question their prices because everything they do is worth it. And all three of these beautiful souls are more than worth their prices. Honestly, they could probably go up a little bit, in my opinion. And most of you out there would probably shoot me for saying that. So, but they are beautiful souls, and you definitely need to order from them. Next week, we have another amazing show. Keep a watch out on your Facebook, and my YouTube channel, and on my Twitch for updates on who our next guest is. Other than that, I love you all, and we will see you next week. Viva Aaliyah.
Viva Aaliyah.